Hey, I'm Grant and welcome to the State of the Channel for August 21st. So the big update is my website is live. You can go visit it at taken4grantd.com. Now it is live, but it is a long way until it's actually what I want it to be. So right now what I have up on there at the time of this video is I can post a podcast, I can post a video, I can make little very simple little blog posts, and then it can store images, files. In theory, I could even have it directly serve the podcast stuff right now, but I haven't set it up yet. And so this week, what I'm hoping to do is just start moving more and more of the stuff from my channel to that site. Because even though I'm going to be hosting it still on YouTube, that's just something to save me having to pay for a ton of bandwidth, so it's just an embed. But I want to make sure that the goal of this site was to have a place where I can kind of show off more of the hits or things that I wanted to have as a portfolio, kind of like the best of compilation. So I want to take and go through and get all the videos I'm most proud of and put them out there so that theoretically someone who had never heard of me or had seen something I did could go to this and be like, oh, here's a collection of all the good stuff. Because I'm always afraid with the YouTube channel that I don't have control over the recommendations, or I don't really know how people will kind of enter my channel's ecosystem. Because there's a lot of videos I do enjoy and I don't mind, but then there's a couple others where they were worth it at the time, but they're not something I would necessarily want to show off. Just very simple little videos that, oh, I just thought this was a funny joke. A good example might be the, I did a really short little video on a weapon in Dead Rising 4. Well, I made that video at I think 2 in the morning is when I finished it. So I was really just trying to get it out because there's more of hey, here's an idea. I just want to make the video. But I would feel bad if that's where someone started, because it's oh, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. It's no, it's just a one-off video I made at 2 in the morning. So this way with the site, I can control it. And this is also something where I can directly point people at. I don't have to be oh, go search for me on YouTube. I can be here's my URL. It's taken4grantd.com. And particularly with say the podcast, I also bought a domain just for that. So I also have digressionbar.com. So this is something where I just love the idea of, say if I have a podcast, I don't have to be okay, go to my YouTube page, scroll down, it's the third thing, that's it. I could actually just be oh yeah, I have a podcast. Oh, what is it? Oh, just find it on iTunes or Google Play, or go to this website and watch it. That lends a certain amount of kind of prestige and legitimateness to it. So I'm really excited that that's finally up. It has a long way to go, particularly in graphics. Right now, I feel it is very just, here's the info on kind of a white page with a couple different colors. But I'd like to really kind of narrow that down and make it an actually well-designed site. But that's kind of something that I've been putting off because it's more important that it actually works than that it looks good. So going forward this week, I think that's going to be what I'm doing, is just a ton of more website work. Now that the website's working, I'm actually editing the first official podcast right now, and it's a pretty good episode, but because I tried some new things, I actually recorded on this camera as a wide shot, I have to deal with some technical issues to get it all working, and that's taking a little bit longer, but I think it's going to hopefully release maybe next week. Would be a good goal to say when I want to actually officially start the podcast. I still need to essentially make audio versions. That's a very important step now. If I'm going to post it to iTunes or Google Play, I need a MP3 basically, just an audio version. Well, to do that, that does mean I have to take it a whole nother pass, and it's a whole workflow thing. So I want to make sure I get that down, because I don't want, even if I went and finished this video today, the first Digression Bar episode 1 thing, I would still probably hold it off a little bit, because I just feel I don't want to have the situation where, yeah, awesome video, great start, but I post it and then I still have to go do all the website and other stuff anyway, so it's going to be a month till episode 2. I don't want that. I kind of want it to properly roll out. So that's kind of why I'm, probably going to sit on it for a while. In the meantime, I have a couple small videos I want to do. I believe by the time this video comes out, I'll put out just a little joke video. I think I'm gonna call it Xbox Live, but as in an ex-girlfriend kind of thing. And it's just a simple little joke I filmed on Xbox that when you go to report someone, you have to say why, oh, they're they're being an asshole, or oh look, they're, I don't know, just being a bad sport, or what have you, or they're yelling at me. Well, one of the options is cheating, and the joke of the video is that, oh, I'm reporting my ex-girlfriend or whatever because she cheated on me. Yeah, so very simple stuff, but I want to do more and more like that. I have plans to do, I think, a couple very small little skits, like things I could just film in like 10 minutes just to get something out there and get kind of a feel for, I guess, what I like and how I like what I want to put out, because I want to start shifting more and more towards that. Like I've talked this before, that I have certain like plans on the channel, and one of them is I don't consider this to be a gaming channel. Like I do gaming content, and even the podcast I probably will label as like a gaming related podcast, but ultimately that's not the point. It's more than that. I think I've only done as much gaming as I have is because it's easy. So stuff like if I'm going to do like the Dead Rising Master Run, I can just film the game and it always looks as good as it's ever going to be. I don't have to worry the fact that, oh, it's, I don't know, 10 p.m. at night, and then, oh, and here's me doing it at 6 a.m. the next day, or I haven't showered, and all these other stuff, because you don't see that. And I can just sit down and do it at any point of the day, so it's a very easy thing to do. So that's just kind of like a far off plan. I'm going to keep kind of working at that, but obviously the site is going to come first, because I want to get this podcast going, because I'm trying to make sure that it's not something that takes over the entire channel. Like, right now, I'm planning to hopefully do every Friday. That's what I would like. But it's also very likely I might do every other Friday, just because I'm afraid that, oh yeah, maybe I can put it out, but if it takes me every single day of working at it to get it out in time, I'll have no room for any other content. And that's not something that I want to happen. So we'll see. Plus, like, there's a couple other things I'd like to do with the podcast that might just take more time. Like, one of the things is those little photo shoots for the thumbnails. Like, that's not much, but if I do have to get like 3 people together, that is a scheduling kind of like conflict. Like if we want to go like to a park somewhere to film or to take the photo, that's a whole thing. It's its own separate day that still has to be done before the video comes out. So anyway, that's what I've been up to this week. There's just been a ton of stuff in the background that I want to kind of cover, because I know it's something that if I'm not transparent, it's really easy to not see that stuff happening. Like it just looks like, oh, I just haven't posted a video in a month or something. It's like, well, no, actually, I'm still working just as much as I did before, maybe even more so, because of like how the website will like fail on me when I was first doing it. But I know that for me, when I would watch like YouTubers, like that silence is like, you just don't know. It's like, are they still making videos? Do they go do some other project? So that's why I wanted to do this, is just kind of get that out there. So sorry if it's like a laundry list of items. So as always, you can get a hold of me over on Twitter. My name is @taken4grantd, and I'll see you guys next week.